Why are worms used for space research? And can they help us understand health on Earth? A big question is, are worms similar to humans? And how can research on worms in space be translated to improving human health on Earth? In this next episode of our amazing new series, we meet C. elegans, a worm with human-like muscles, guts, a nervous system that is helping us advance research into humans and medicine. Subscribe now and watch new episodes about the research being undertaken to help humans travel further into space. Well, there are over 1 million types of worm, but there is only one worm that is commonly used across the world by scientists for research. And this worm is called C. elegans. Now, C. elegans are microscopic, meaning that scientists can keep thousands of them in the lab at a time. And because of this, they are cheap and they are very easy for us to maintain. And that makes them perfect for research, and particularly for spaceflight research. Now, at first, you might think that there are no similarities between worms and people, since worms are tiny in comparison to us as humans, and we look quite different. However, there are many common features between us and the worm. For example, C. elegans have muscles, a gut, nerves, a circulatory system, and in order to move around, C. elegans convert food into energy, just like humans. Also, 80% of the instructions used to build a worm, known as our genes, are similar to humans, and that makes them an ideal model for studying human aging and disease. In fact, C. elegans is such a good model that using them in research has led to huge scientific discoveries in medicine. For example, researchers use C. elegans to try and understand how reproductive organs are made, and in doing so, they found out a critical process called programmed cell death. This is now recognized as a critical process not only in the worms, but also in humans. And if this process didn't happen, the skin between our fingers would fuse, meaning our hands would become webbed. Importantly, because worms have many similarities to humans, we can apply what we learned about our muscles from these tiny worms in space to improve our muscle health on Earth. Now, this is particularly relevant to aging on Earth, because as we get older, our muscles, they get weaker and they get smaller. What else do we know about C. elegans? For example, what do they eat? How do they have babies? And how long does a C. elegans live? Subscribe now to watch all of the episodes in this fascinating new series. Hit the bell button to hear about new downloads as soon as they become available.